Hey everybody, Jamie here, and I was seeing in the comments that a lot of you have been requesting back to school DIYs. You guys are that excited to go back to school already? Jeez, I'm just still trying to enjoy the rest of summer. So let's compromise. I'll make something that can help organize my writing utensils for all of my summer crafting needs, and then you can use it in order to impress your friends back at school. Deal? Yeah, I guess you can't really pinky promise to a camera, can you? I'm just going to have to take your word for it. Anyway, get ready to make your own no-sew school supply pack. Let's do it, girl. Okay, so in order to make this craft, you're going to need scissors, a ruler, chalk, a cutting tool and cutting mat, string any kind, double-sided fabric of any kind, and the school supply you want to organize. I'll be using pens for my tutorial, but you can use anything from pencils to highlighters to twistable crayons. All right, it's time to get schooled, because you're doing a back-to-school craft. Step 1. The first step is to determine the height of your fabric. It needs to be around 2 inches longer than your school supplies to ensure they don't peek out from inside your pack. Since my pen is 5.5 inches long, I'll make my fabric 7.5 inches tall. Step 2. The next step is to determine the width of your fabric, and here's the formula. For every writing utensil you have, add 1 inch of width. I've got 10 pens, which means I need a starting width of 10 inches. However, you still need a third more room for your fabric in order to roll your pack closed. In other words, since my pens take up 10 inches, a third more space would be 1/3 of 10, or just under 3.5 inches. I'll round up to 4 inches in order to keep my measurements even. So my 10 inches of utensils plus my 4 inches of roll room adds up to a fabric width of 14 inches. Step 3. Using your chalk and ruler, mark out your measurements onto your fabric. I made a 14 by 7.5 inch rectangle before cutting it out with my scissors. Step 4. Once your fabric is ready, the next step is to mark out your slots. To know how wide your slots need to be, simply measure the width of your school supply. My pens are a 1/2 inch wide, which I think works for the majority of writing utensils. To determine where the slots go ahead and follow this pattern. Divide the height of your pouch into thirds. The bottom of the top third is where you'll make your first slot. Give yourself a 1/2 inch of room from the edge before using your ruler and chalk to mark your first 1/2 inch slot. Give yourself another 1/2 inch of space before chalking out the next 1/2 inch slot. Continue marking a 1/2 inch slot followed by a 1/2 inch of space until you've got as many slots as you do utensils. Step 5. Once you've marked your top slots, it's time to mark your bottom slots. Starting at the top of the bottom third of your fabric, repeat the same step of giving yourself a 1/2 inch of space from the edge as well as in between slots as you work your way from one end to the other. Make sure each bottom slot is perfectly aligned below its match from the top row. Step 6. When both rows of slots have been marked, all that's left to do is create them using your cutting tool. Take your time to make each slot evenly sized and level with one another for both the top and bottom rows. When finished, wipe away any remaining chalk residue. Now you can easily slip your writing utensil through the slots to lock it in place. You're more than welcome to stop here, or you can be like me and add another 2 rounds of slots for even more flair. Starting a 1/2 inch below your top row of slots, create a new row of slots. Then, starting a 1/2 inch above your bottom row of slots, create a final row of slots. You should now have 4 rows total. This way, your school supply has an extra round of security to make sure it doesn't fall out. Plus, if you are using something like colorful crayons, this method shows off its center color for a super aesthetically pleasing look. No matter which way you decide to go, the final step is to insert your string closure. Giving yourself a 1/2 inch of space from the edge, create a super tiny hole with your cutting tool. Take 2 feet of string, fold it in half, and then insert the folded end up into the hole. Tie this end into a knot, giving you 2 separate string pieces on the other side to work with. And your school supply pack is complete. When the bell rings, simply roll up the fabric and tie it shut with your string before heading on to your next class. This craft takes less than an hour, so make as many as you need, whether you want to interchange your writing utensils, or you want to make the fabric taller for pencils, or you want to make your slots wider for markers, or interchange the slot sizes so that way you can hold anything from highlighters to glue sticks. A pack like this can also organize anything from paintbrushes to makeup supplies and can be made of anything from leather to duct tape, so get creative. And there you go! I've got a writing supply organizer for summer, and you've got a hot, trendy back-to-school commodity this fall. High five! Man, this camera really gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? What type of school supply pack did you make? Tweet me at Jamie Petito, Instagram me at HeyJamie, or let me know on my fan page on Facebook. If you enjoyed making a school supply pack, click the video on your left to make your own upcycled pencil box. And if you own a lot of plain silver pens like I do, click the video on your right in order to dress it up into an awesome looking duct tape pen. We did it, girl. I'm Jamie and you're on Gurl.com.